Hello and welcome to Voluntary Arts Week Live. It's Wednesday the 16th of May and I'm Robin Simpson, Chief Executive of Voluntary Arts, the UK and Ireland representative body for the amateur arts and crafts, the organisers of Voluntary Arts Week. Welcome to Voluntary Arts Week Live. We're going to take a little look around the country this afternoon and see what's been happening for Voluntary Arts Week. If you'd like to comment while we're on air, please do tweet me with the hashtag Voluntary Arts Week. That's #Voluntary Arts Week. And I'll try to include some of your comments as we go along. We're going to start with a look at the Voluntary Arts Week launch event, which happened in Falkirk on Saturday. And then we're going to talk live to Cassandra Barron from the Voluntary Arts Scotland team. Here's some of the Voluntary Arts Week launch event in Falkirk.
Terrific opportunity to speak to people. We've found it very beneficial on several levels. First of all, we've sold a few tickets for our up-and-coming concert, which is always useful. We've had a chance to interact with other organisations in the town, and it's something that doesn't happen very often. And also, we've actually recruited 3 new members for our orchestra.
Goodness, playing what?
2 violins, 1 trumpet.
Wow.
All of whom were people who learned their instruments at school, but when they left school didn't find an opportunity to continue playing. They're now in their mid-20s and they've been quite glad to find somewhere where they can continue their interest in music.
It's been a super day. We've had lots of people making arrangements. This is one of our apprentices. And the people from the art club, from the practical class, have really enjoyed the day. It's been good because it's given us a chance to chat to each other in an informal way, and we've been able to show what we do to the public. And they've enjoyed themselves. We've had some gentlemen, we've had some disabled ladies, we've had lots of people of all ages, children as well, and they've all enjoyed themselves and they've all taken home something. We've done more than 40 arrangements with the public and they've all been pleased to and surprised to have it for nothing, to take their arrangement home for nothing. They've been really delighted. And we've been able to tell them about our club and what we do, and we've given them flyers for next year with all the dates of our practical classes and demonstrations, and we've talked to them about our open night and the things that we do. We've also had an inquiry from a nursing home, and I'm going to go out and do some work with some of their elderly ladies. I'm going to do some table arrangements for them as well, so it's been really good.
Joining me now is Cassandra Barron from Voluntary Arts Scotland. And Cassandra, tell us a bit about that Voluntary Arts Week launch event in Falkirk.
Hi Robin, you've just seen a wee exit there of the Falkirk event which we held on Saturday, which was our way in Scotland of launching Voluntary Arts Week. And we worked with an organisation called 3 Space, which is a charity that works in partnership with landlords and leaseholders to allow the community to kind of have access to otherwise empty properties. So we worked with an empty shop unit, and we basically got about 10 or more voluntary arts groups involved from the Falkirk area who held demonstrations and put on workshops for people to get involved with to kind of showcase what they're doing and get more people involved in their activities. So it was really brilliant to see the kind of transformation of this kind of empty, derelict shop to a kind of creative hive of activity.
So what sort of things were going on the day?
So we had the Falkirk Floral Art Club who were doing workshops, and we chatted to them afterwards, and they said they had over 40 people take part in that, and they kind of did flower arranging and they took their flower arrangements home, so that was brilliant. We had the Falkirk District Art Club who were doing painting demonstrations and had some information about their upcoming exhibition, and they had quite a few people sign up to their membership list on the day as well, which was brilliant to hear. We had the Falkirk Festival Chorus who had an information stand, and we also had the local martial arts group who came and did a demonstration outside, which drew a real crowd at the beginning of the day, which was a fantastic way to kick it all off. So it was a real mixture between kind of hands-on activities and information stands and just kind of generally people there showcasing what they do.
Well, what was the reaction of the public coming across this unexpectedly?
Well, it was quite interesting seeing people kind of double take as to kind of what was going on, because obviously this was right on the high street, and it's been known as an empty shop for quite a while, so there was quite a lot of interest kind of from people walking past, and definitely at the beginning of the day with the kind of martial arts in the middle of the street, that really kind of drew people's attention. So it was really nice to see, and we got a lot of kind of positive feedback from people that came into the space and kind of found it really interesting talking to the groups.
Excellent, thanks, Cassandra. Tell me a bit about what else has been going on around the country. We've got lots of events registered on the Voluntary Arts Week site.
Yes, we do. We've just received notification that we've got over 100 events on the site throughout the week as well today, so that's brilliant to see that many events going on. So there's a real range of different things, from people putting on taster sessions to people holding open rehearsals. I've just got a few examples of different things that are going on around the country today. In England, the Roundabout Quilters in Oxfordshire, they're holding a come and try afternoon so that you can go and have a look at what they do and have a go at quilting if you've never tried it before. In Scotland tonight, the Newland Concert Brass are doing a performance at their local primary school to showcase what they've been working on. In the Republic of Ireland, the Sounds Ensemble Music Group are running an open rehearsal and inviting people to go down and take part and bring their musical instruments with them. And in Northern Ireland, the South Ulster Symphonia, which are a community orchestra for adults, are holding a concert called Summer Sounds to showcase what they've been doing. So there's a real range of different things happening, and it's fantastic to see it all come together, really.
That's great. I didn't know we'd got up to 100 events. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Excellent news. And tell us a bit about What's in Your Window, which was new this year.
Yeah, well, What's in Your Window is really, it was a kind of idea of a way to showcase what voluntary arts and crafts groups have been working on and give them a window, so to speak, for people to see what they do and to really spread the word about how other people can get involved. So we were kind of encouraging arts and crafts groups to partner up with their local libraries, community centres, shops, charity shops, to display their work in their window, along with some information about how other people could get involved in their activities. So I popped down to one of the groups that are taking part in this in Edinburgh yesterday, who were called Granny's Greens, and they're a kind of a general arts and crafts group that meet once a week. And they took over an empty shop unit and have done a fantastic display of all their members' work, and it's a really good example of how this can really draw some attention. There were so many comments from people walking past on the street, like curious about the group and about how they could get involved. So it's kind of it's interesting to see how it's going, and we're receiving some different images of people's different window displays. So it's nice to see how people have kind of taken it into their own and kind of really run with it. So that's good.
Excellent. Well, we've got a selection of some of those What's in Your Window images. Let's have a look at those now. Well, thanks very much to Cassandra Barron at Voluntary Arts Scotland, and to everybody who's sent in pictures to What's in Your Window. One of the groups that Cassandra referred to there was Granny's Greens in Edinburgh, and we've got a selection of photos here showing the sort of thing that was going on at Granny's Greens this weekend. Joining me now is Fiona Stewart from Granny's Greens, and Fiona's going to tell us a little bit about what was going on there. Hello, Fiona.
Hello, Robin. Hi.
So
yeah, we're delighted to be part of this. Actually, it's great. It's been a really good thing for us as a group.
What is Granny's Greens then? Tell us the story.
Well, Granny Greens is it's got a sort of peculiar name, and people always think we're full of senior citizens. We're not. We're a mixed group, and actually quite a lot of people in their 20s and 30s. We were formed about a year and a half ago in Edinburgh. A group of us decided we would get together and have a crafting evening. Quite often, there's knitting groups and very specific crafting things. But we decided we wanted to do something that was fairly broad. And we used to meet in a building that had a set of steps up the side that were called the Granny's Green Steps. So that's why we called ourselves Granny Green's Big Night Out. And we meet every Monday. We now meet in a pub in central Edinburgh. And it's quite countercultural, really, because basically we all get together in this pub, and people bring knitting and crochet and cross stitch and all sorts of different things, projects that they're working on, and we sit there and we have a good old chat and get to know each other and work away on things. So it's good fun meeting weekly, and I think one of the things we really benefit from is just kind of sharing community together, but also sharing our experiences. So there's some really fantastic knitters, for example. And somebody like me, I'm quite a beginner with all of that, so I find it really helpful to come along and learn new skills from people. So we've built up a bit of a community over 18 months. We meet each week. We also have a book group, and we've had some film discussion nights and done various social things together. But this is the first time we've kind of tackled an exhibition type project.
So what did you do specially for Voluntary Arts Week then?
We felt quite inspired by the idea of doing something in your window, what's in your window, and we also have access to an empty shop. I actually work for an organisation called Foolproof, which is a charity that encourages creativity, and we have our offices in a church building, and at the bottom of the church building there's an old charity shop that's empty at the moment. So we feel quite inspired about the windows, because there are huge windows in this empty shop. So we took over these three great big plate glass windows, and have filled all three of them with basically just displays of what we do. So there's some fabulous crocheted blankets, knitted blankets, some beautiful embroidered cushions, and mobiles and all sorts of kind of intriguing things, along with kind of displays about what we do each week and some information about the group. And that display will be in place for a week. So we met on Monday evening, and there were probably maybe 15 of us working away at it, everybody kind of busying away, and the finished product, if I do say so myself, looks really good. So it's been a great experience for us together.
Excellent. The photos certainly look good.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do for Voluntary Arts Week 2013?
That's a good question. Well, you need to give me a title or a theme or something so we can get thinking about it. But we have felt quite inspired by this year, actually. It's been good. I think it's kind of inspired us. As we were setting up on Monday evening, we were aware it's quite a busy street that we're on, and so loads of people were coming past and looking in, and you kind of think, gosh, well, if we can do this in one evening, what else could we do? So I don't know, the world's an oyster for next year.
Excellent. The sky's the limit. Fiona, thank you very much. You're watching Voluntary Arts Week Live. And now let's turn our attention from what's been happening in Scotland and have a little look at some of the activities that have started to happen in Ireland for Voluntary Arts Week. Joining me now from Belfast is Adam Turkington from Seahead Arts. Hello, Adam.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm fine. How are you? Tell us a bit about open source then.
Yeah, it's an idea that we've had before we had even set up Seahead Arts, basically, but it was an idea to take a vacant unit and basically turn it into an open source for creatives, really. So, and it's one of my theories, I guess, that there's lots of lovely formats that people in the sort of computer and geeky world use for networking and promoting their businesses that don't seem, for some reason, to translate into other sectors. So it was an attempt to try and take, the concept of open source and conferences like On Convention and biz camps and stuff like that, and sort of see if it would work on a kind of workshop basis in a vacant unit in the centre of Belfast.
Excellent idea. Did it work?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was. No. I mean, I'm only hesitating because I want to. Yeah, no, it was definitely a success. We had like 77 hours. We had 11 days with 7 hours open in a day, and we probably, I would have said, had filled 85 to 90% of those slots. Some just at the tail end of the day or the start of the day weren't taken up, and certainly the second half of the program was oversubscribed. We only really started the program about a week out because the whole sort of theory of it was all manned by volunteers. So, I could have used my contacts to fill the program myself almost, but I kind of decided that I wanted to sort of leave as much of it as possible for the volunteers. So that sort of meant that we were only really starting the program with about a week until opening, which was kind of terrifying as an event coordinator, but equally quite exhilarating for everybody involved.
And did you get that sense, as with open source software, then, of people building on previous people's contributions? Was there a sort of cumulative effect?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously tried to put some stuff in early that made the place feel, different and sort of warm, and we wanted it to have a DIY, sort of feel, and a very kind of open and sort of welcoming feel. So we had lots of activities in the windows and from the ceilings and the walls, which kind of made the place feel very kind of warm, and I think people felt cool when they came in. It's not like a big art building with pictures and stuff done by really kind of important people. It sort of felt like somewhere where you could relax and somewhere where you could learn.
And did you get a sense of who the participants were? Were these people who with no experience, or people who are used to doing this sort of thing? A big mix, really. We had a very sort of prominent city centre venue, so we got a lot of casual traffic and interested people looking in at these weirdos who were in this big shop window. But on the other hand, we got people who were interested in the arts and interested in, getting involved. So we had some of, the regular faces that would see a lot of stuff in Belfast, but then equally I made a lot of, I think everybody made a lot of new contacts, and everybody who was involved in that is kind of, I think, one of the reasons why people do it for free. I mean, everybody who donated to it donated for free, but it's an opportunity for everybody to, cross-pollinate with other art forms and other people and other potential audiences, So, but really, in terms of the workshops as well, we would have had everything from, well-being to pottery to, knitting to, street art to, it was pretty much everything under the sun, then just poetry readings or debates on feminism or Occupy Belfast or, pretty much and musical performances as well. So we
made it like open source. We publicised that the space was there, and we just took whatever came. If people were prepared to donate their time for free.
Sounds great. So what next? You're going to repeat it? Are there plans for something?
I'm broken, so I don't want to do it for for about another year. I think ideally I'd like to do it properly again, and we've learned some lessons. Nothing serious, but I think we've built a good sort of loyalty now amongst people who really like the project as well, so that would give us a bit of a head start as well. But I'm not sure that you can do it that regularly. I prefer to be proved wrong on this, but you're so reliant on everything borrowed. The furniture was borrowed, the technical was borrowed, the volunteers, the staff were all volunteers, and all the content it was really high-end content as well. It was all given for free, so I don't know that I feel comfortable asking for that on a more than an annual basis. And also personally, I have to start getting ready for Culture Night, because that's one of my other gigs is. So I have to ask for a lot of favours for that. So I kind of need to. I think I need to hold back. So I would hope that we could do it again for next festival if Sean will have us. But and certainly there's a lot of demand for us to do it again. I think people really connected and liked it. So hopefully we can do it again next year.
Well, we hope to see you back in Voluntary Arts Week 2013.
Yeah, we'll try and make sure it's the same week, shall we?
Yeah, let's do that. Well, we've got a little video of some of the activities from Open Source from the weekend, so let's just have a look at that now.
I got it.
Personal brand.
Yes.
When you're on the chimney, then not taking this into consideration, you need to take so it's all kind of if I hold it, consistency is everything around it. Go. It's getting the stick of it. Right. Something on that's okay, that's the only that's the decision that you've made. So, yeah, consistency is really important.
This could be the base.
You've never seen a blue bottle look. It's always you remove the logo and all so this is something like that would get the money. We need to use talk about it because it's really the right side it's code, so that's what looks like behind, so I thought to do that. Use probably more mobile for this kind of so Charlie Sheen last year flew out to employment last summer. Social media is why he's doing a master's project.
And if you stand on it, really?
Looking hard on it in terms of Tiger Blood, I hear
And did you just learn that today, did you? That's brilliant.
I didn't have a fantastic life. At the centerpiece. Well,
This is Voluntary Arts Week Live. I'm Robin Simpson, and I'm joined now from our Ireland office in Londonderry by Tony Carlin. Hello, Tony.
Hi, Robin. How's it going?
I'm fine. So you were at the open source event at the weekend in Belfast.
I was.
How was
Kevin
that?
and on Kieran as well. We all went down.
How did it go?
And it was a fantastic event. Absolutely brilliant from start to finish. Plenty of activity for everybody to try out. The whole family could get involved. Actually, you can see a little picture of me there in a spinning wheel. So, and I have to say I was a natural at it. So actually, if the Voluntary Arts Ireland career goes down the tube, I think the spinning is the way forward for me.
That's excellent.
And I helped a few kids there. We were making cardboard cities and cardboard boxes. They had people on giving talks on how to create an online presence for arts groups, and it was absolutely fantastic.
So that's great. What else is going on around Ireland for Voluntary Arts Week?
We've actually been spoiled for events, not just for Voluntary Arts Week, because it was also National Volunteer Week and Adult Learners Week, all in the same time frame. So there's been events all over the country, and a lot of it is sort of mixed in with each other, particularly the volunteering stuff. In Northern Ireland, obviously, we had open source, which was fantastic. We've had embroidery and knitting classes in Belfast. On up the road then in Derry, we've had arts and crafts fairs in not only Derry, but actually in Down and Limavady, where people could come along and, quite like the same as the open source, try different art forms. In the Republic of Ireland, we've had a great volunteer called Carol, who's actually been going around and trying all these different activities as part of Voluntary Arts Week, and sending me the pictures and the video. So I'll have to get those up on the website as well. But she's been going to drawing classes, dance classes. There was open rehearsals for musicians down there, knitting classes. Then on down in Cork, there's paper making classes and Wicklow, traditional music sessions. We've had the full spectrum of arts activities. It's been absolutely fantastic.
That's great. And what else are you doing for the rest of Voluntary Arts Week then, Tony? Do you have any plans to visit more activities or do something yourself?
Definitely, that's the plan. There's a few other little events in my area up here in Derry. So I'm going to try my hand at painting on Thursday night, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping I'm going to be a natural, just like I was at the sewing wheel. I doubt it, but you never know.
Excellent. Tony, thanks very much.
Thanks, Robin. All the best.
You're watching Voluntary Arts Week Live. I'm Robin Simpson, and we're now going to turn our attention to England. In Liverpool, Voluntary Arts has been running a long-term collaboration with BBC Radio Merseyside called Up for Arts, and Up for Arts has been playing its part in Voluntary Arts Week.
BBC Radio Merseyside.
If you take part in arts and crafts, then Up for Arts wants to hear from you to celebrate Voluntary Arts Week. If you run a taster session for new people to have a go, or host exhibitions, or if you take your art or craft into public places to let everyone see what it is you're doing, then help Up for Arts showcase the wonderful world of amateur arts and crafts. For more details of how you can take part in Voluntary Arts Week, then call the A-Team on 0151 794 0984.
Within our Up for Arts project in Liverpool, a key event for Voluntary Arts Week is going to take place this Friday the 18th of May. You can rediscover the city with your friends and family as Up for Arts supports open culture in the city, as the city is illuminated with unexpected happenings and excited activities late into the night. A springtime celebration of Liverpool's arts and culture, we've invited listeners to take part and unlock the doors of our world-class museums and galleries, heritage sites and cathedrals. There are over 60 free events to inspire and delight visitors of all ages. To showcase Voluntary Arts Week, we've put together a voluntary amateur choir like no other. Yes, that's right, forget singing talent shows on the telly. Simon Singers will feature 24 drive-time listeners to BBC Radio Merseyside, and, along with the drive-time presenter Simon Hoban and the brilliant Sense of Sound, the newest singing sensation will perform in front of an audience for the very first time on Friday night at BBC Radio Merseyside. Simon Singers will perform live on the Drive Show on BBC Radio Merseyside from 5 o'clock on Friday the 18th of May, 5 p.m, at BBC Radio Merseyside, to give you a taste of Big Voice, which takes place at Liverpool Anglican Cathedral at 7:30 on Friday evening. Everybody's invited to sing with Sense of Sound on a grand scale. As part of Voluntary Arts Week, come and show your support and come and watch BBC Radio Merseyside presenter Simon Hoban sing along with his listeners. You can even sing along too. That's this Friday the 18th of May. If you're anywhere near Liverpool, do get along and join in that part of Voluntary Arts Week. Maybe we're taking for granted the reason for Voluntary Arts Week, the importance of showcasing voluntary and amateur arts activity across the UK and Ireland. All that activity that happens throughout the year, every year, but often goes a little bit unnoticed or unrecognised. But at our launch event for Voluntary Arts Week in Falkirk on Saturday, we asked people a number of questions to try to work out what is so great about the voluntary arts.
I think the involvement of music, but in those days you were also interested in picking up a little bit of social life, being involved in an amateur company.
And did you find that? Is that what happened?
Found it indeed. Fun company, lots of fun people, but also having the outlet for what talent I did possess.
First of all, when I was a little child, then I did it again at Teacher Training College, and then I did it when I was down south and back up north, and just carried on at different levels.
So we went to the council run classes over in Stirling, and we done 2 sessions there. I got a wee bit going yet, and then we got invited to join the art club. And there's always somebody there to give you a hand and a bit of advice, so it went on quite fine, and that's been it since then. Basically, it's something that you've done, it's self-satisfaction, it makes you relax. You just get an overall, just a magical thing about it.
I think it was being involved in the little bit of make-believe that theatre is all about, and enjoying the character roles. Latterly I was just the best guy for the silly old fool parts, but it's good fun, escapism in some way, and also the camaraderie within the roles in many of the shows that take place, being able to sort of find an inner character there that the director wanted, and it's quite fulfilling.
Just because country dancing is such fun and it's inclusive, everybody can country dance. Doesn't matter what level you're at, doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter how fit you are, you can do it at whatever level you want to do it at, and you can join in with everybody. would tell them to come along, and even if they wanted to watch, and then join in, and then just take part as much as they can. And I think within minutes they'll be up there joining in.
You'll have won them over.
We will have won them over. Yeah.
Come along, talk to someone who's involved. And as far as Falkirk Bohemians are concerned, they would be very welcome. And we have all levels of talent. Some people don't sing greatly and maybe be in trouble for this if you've seen, but you know, there's a range of musical talent and ability that can be called for in the show. The same with dance ability. The demands from a choreographer will always be levelled at the talent level of the individual so that they accomplish what they need to accomplish to feel they're doing superbly in the show.
I would say to them, don't think about not being able to do it, because that's what I did. And you can do it. You can do it. And for to go and, if they're interested at all, go and try it. Put their hand to it, because they can do it. There's always somebody there to give you advice, which will help.
Well, that brings us almost to the end of Voluntary Arts Week Live. I hope you've enjoyed this brief overview of activities happening around the country for Voluntary Arts Week 2012. Many thanks to everybody who's helped with this webcast, particularly to Cassandra, to Adam, to Fiona and to Tony for their contributions, and to everybody who's taken part in Voluntary Arts Week around the country. There are over 100 events now listed on the Voluntary Arts Week website, and still plenty of time to get along to some of those before the week ends on Sunday the 20th of May. There's still also plenty of time for you to take part in What's in Your Window, displaying your arts and crafts skills in your window or in the window of a building in which you work, or an empty shop, or some of the other examples that we've seen. So please do visit voluntaryartsweek.org and look at the listing of events, look at the photos from What's in Your Window, and see how you can take part in Voluntary Arts Week 2012. Many thanks for watching. That's all for today.